Hello everyone, my name is Sam and I'm the sales manager at Niche Solutions. I'd like to welcome you all to Still Niche, our first product video. In today's video, we'll be looking at 3 specialty beers brewed with yeast from our range. You may have one of our tasting boxes with you, which you can enjoy along with us in the video, or you can pause the sections and enjoy the beers in your own time. Without too much more from me, I'll pass you over to Daniel, who's the head brewer at Exale Brewing.
Hiya, my name's Daniel. I'm the head brewer at Exale Brewing here in Walthamstow. We've been open for nearly a year. We like to mix our beer styles in the fact that we have a very classical core range of a sessionable pale and a Dortmunder lager. We also make unusual, more foraged ingredient beers and higher strength beers. We make a West Coast IPA, etc. But one of our core beers is this, Cranky. Originally made as a joke for my business partner Mark, who is from Cumbernauld, just outside Glasgow, which is where they make Iron Brew. But it's become its own little monster, and we now have to brew it all the time. It's a kettle sour, so we sour it over a period of 24 hours using natural yogurt. It brings it down to a pH of about 3.8, so it's not overtly sour, but it gives you the tang, the same sort of tang you get in a soft drink. We then use a secret ingredient to give you that classic Iron Brew bubblegummy aroma. There's no Iron Brew flavour in there per se, but what your brain does, it sees the colour, it tastes the sweet and sour combination, and the aroma is enough for your brain to fill in the gap of flavour. If you haven't ever had Iron Brew, it can bamboozle you a bit, but if you have and you've got the memory of the flavour, your brain joins the dots up. So it's a bit of a trick, really. So let's have a look at it. Whoa. The colour is purely from the malt bill. We get it's crystal malt, basically a melanoidin, which gives you that lovely classic sort of, I can't remember what the orange they call it, sunset orange or whatever drives kids crazy when you give it to them. The aroma, it's classic Iron Brew, bubblegum, slightly herbaceous, a little bit of vanilla in there, and there's the tang. The tang keeps you coming back for more, and as I say, it's not massively sour, but just enough to keep the palate coming back. So once we've soured it, we boil it to kill the lacto, and then we use Niche Solutions AY5, which is an incredibly effective, clean, and high attenuating yeast, so it leaves no residual flavour to the beer, but it just gets the job done. And gives us a lovely clean finish on the final product. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Daniel. I tried this Iron Brew sour myself in Brighton a couple of weeks ago, and I know exactly what you mean about it being moreish and the tang bringing you back for more. On to our second brewery for today. We'll be looking at By the Horns in South London, and we'll be talking to their lead brewer, Ross Lonsdale, who's made a one-off wheat beer.
Hi there, my name is Ross Lonsdale. I'm the lead brewer at By the Horns Brewing Company in London. We have been brewing here since 2011. I've been here for 4 years now. We've got a core range of session IPA, pale ale, pilsner. We do kind of traditional style ales, but we've been directing ourselves more towards craft beer recently. We do lots of one-offs to go along with our core range. but base everything kind of around our core range. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of our specials, our Hefeweizen. We started the idea, we had a hop called Brew 1, which we wanted to do something with. It's got pineapple characteristics to it, and eventually we came up with the idea of brewing a Hefeweizen to support that. We brewed with the Fermo Weiss yeast, which we felt gave us good retention of the yeast in suspension. It's given us a nice kind of balanced kind of clove and banana flavors in our beer, and we feel it complements the hops that we wanted for this beer. Let's crack it open. So we used 31% wheat in this beer. We then added some crystal malts in there to give it a nice colour and nice kind of caramel notes. We feel like it all kind of blended together quite nicely with the Brew 1 hop, which we kind of started with. So yeah, straight off the nose you get kind of the nice wheat yeast flavours, your nice kind of clove and banana flavours, and we'll give it a taste. We also added some oats, toasted barley and torrefied wheat to help enable head retention and give you that kind of nice kind of body and mouthfeel that you're expected as well in wheat beer. We also use lactic to treat our hot liquor, which gives that kind of nice soft mouthfeel as well. So I'll give it a taste. That's nice. So with all our beers, we try and have a nice kind of healthy balance with our kind of flavour compounds. So we feel like the yeast added to that balance in terms of the way it kind of reacted with our malt base and also our hops that we used as well. And overall, the pineapple of Brew 1 comes through nicely, the flavour of the yeast comes through nicely, and our malt comes through just where we want it to. So hopefully you can find it somewhere and enjoy it as much as I can. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Ross. For those of you tasting the beer with us today, you'll recognise the warming aromas of a classic wheat beer as soon as you open the can. Onto our final brewery, our final specialty beer of the day. We'll be looking at Moncada Brewery in North London, who have made an amber Marzen style beer using some quite interesting techniques. Over to you, Gareth.
Hello, my name is Gareth. I'm the head brewer at Moncada Brewery. We're a brewery based in northwest London. We've been at this location for the last 3 years, but have been hovering around Notting Hill and the surrounding area for 9 years in total. At Moncada we brew a whole range of beers, largely for the craft market. So we have our Imperial Stout, a famous one, West Coast IPAs. We've got a bit of a barrel aged project going on at the moment. We also tend towards some of the more European styles. So we've done a couple Weiss beers, a Kolsch, and a few lagers as well, which is evidently what we'll be discussing today. So what we have here is Sundance. It's our second lager we've brewed. It is an amber lager, or a Marzen style lager, brewed with the Fermo Lager yeast from Niche Solutions. Give it a pour. So, what's unique about this lager is it's brewed to the German purity laws, which means it's just barley, hops, water and yeast. We also do something that's a German technique known as decoction mashing, which means we'll separate a portion of the mash, we'll boil it, and then we'll reintroduce it back into the brew. And what this does is it adds a depth of flavour, it adds colour, as you can see from the beer here, and also some good aromas and some head retention that we've got on top of the beer, really coming from those melanoidins that you get from boiling that portion. So let's see how it tastes. So, as the second iteration of this lager, we thought we would up the maltiness to it, adding a bit of Karen Munich in there. It also added to the colour. As you can see, it's gotten a lot darker. Good head retention on top. During the fermentation, the lager yeast was fermenting for about 10 days, so a nice quick finish. It had some slight sulfury notes, which cleaned up after about 3 weeks, so also very quick for lager. And we were pleased with the clarity that came out after a 5-week lagering period. So yeah, all in all, very successful lager brew. Cheers.
Okay, that brings us neatly to the end of our product video for today. Thank you very much to Daniel, Ross and Gareth for sharing their expertise and of course these excellent specialty beers. If you would like to find out a little bit more about any of the products featured today, get in contact with us at Niche Solutions, leave us a comment underneath or subscribe to watch our future videos. Thank you very much.